You are now listening to Wavy Sound.
Welcome to another members only presentation of Versus Mike History. I'm your host, Michael History. And today we have Julius in the building. Hello,
what's up,
brother.
What's up?
How you doing? I'm good. Just let the people know who you are.
It's FunnyJulius here. Everything extraordinaire. From writing to being the funny guy to being the serious guy to being the guy in front and behind the camera and all that and more.
Welcome, brother. Appreciate you coming on the podcast. I want to get into your career because I've been following you for some time now. The first time I came across your work is while you were doing work with Dinnerland. I have some other friends who are a part of that collective as well. And, you know, that collective was really dope. And I've seen a lot of people go and do really great things from there. So I kind of want to just talk about your experience leading up to that point and early Julius.
Oh man, where do I start?
I don't know. You tell me.
Shit. All right. Well, of course, I went to college in Shaw University. At Shaw University, first in the South. I was homecoming king there, and that's what I got. That's when I first got into my craft. I shot my first music video down there. Didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And also created content. I did create content. I didn't even know it was called content, back then. Then I had recorded a tornado.
Mm-hmm.
It made me some good money. I went viral. I think that was my first. Yeah, that was my first time going viral.
When you say you recorded a tornado, you mean like you filmed it and sold it?
Yeah, I filmed it, sold it. Okay money. I see why storm chasers definitely do it though.
Okay.
Yeah, some good money. With that money, I bought my first DSLR camera, and
Awesome.
after that, just started shooting music videos for people, doing free photography for people. When I came back to New York City, I latched on to this guy, Brett Cartier. He was a rapper. That's my best friend. And we were just working together. He was a rapper. I was the director, film director, and I was just shooting music videos for him. And everybody would see him, and everybody would like him. And then I really latched on. I guess he latched on to us, Wordsmith. He's a rapper turned battle rapper. He still raps, but he's like a battle rapper now.
Right.
So it was like he introduced me to a whole nother level of connections, which I will never ever forget. So I'm like very, 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 very happy about that. Those were my early days. Nowadays, I just create what people would like and what I think people need to see, and I'm slightly heavy on representation, so that's where my work is coming. Yeah, I want to say that's where my work is going. That's that's where my work is going in the future.
Word. So, I know you're a writer and a producer, and I want to talk about some of your inspirations because, there's so much to pull from in film and television in terms of genre style and writing style and all of those things. And I want to talk about like what are some early influences from film and television that inspired you to get into the field?
Film and television. Growing up, I really didn't concentrate on. Growing up, I watched bad movies.
Okay. What's a bad action movie?
I want to say Steven Seagal movies.
Okay. That's fair.
Steven Seagal movies are great for the action, horrible for everything else. So,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on that, and I grew up on. I didn't really watch TV. I wasn't really into media
Mm-hmm.
as a child. I was just more into video games and stuff like that. And then I was into social media, and then I got into TV and TV and film. So I have had like a lot of catching up to do. But what really got me, what really had me like zoned in,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, just why just the I want to say comedy, really, like those comedic movies back, like those comedic movies were really funny to me, like the Hangover and Super Bad, like those wacky movies,
Yeah.
those Adam Sandler movies, those movies, those they really, I want to say, kind of helped me into my comedy, and also my networking, because
Mm-hmm.
Adam, just like Issa Rae, Adam Sandler, he really put his team on. Like
Definitely.
if you see like all damn near every single movie, there's at
Yeah.
least 2 to 4 of his homies
Chris
in that
Rock,
movie.
David Spade, Nick Swartzen.
Like, like it's like, okay, like I love this. I
Rob
love this.
Schneider.
Yeah, like Rob Schneider is like like even if like Rob Schneider in 1 month, Rob Schneider is the main character in the movie. The
Mhm.
next month he has like a super small role in an
Word.
Adam Sandler movie. So I
Facts.
really
Yeah.
really appreciated that. And then me, I'm more into the I want to say, like, I'm more into like action drama or thriller, action thriller or thriller drama. Um, growing up, I would watch movies with my family, and that's what they had on.
Mhm.
So, like, The Professional. I love The Professional. It's one of my favorite movies. My all-time favorite movie is The Nightmare Before Christmas,
Awesome. My
and
dad loves that movie too.
yeah, I think that's the movie that defined my style, because I like
Yeah.
darkness.
Mm. So, I want to get back to the darkness tip in a second, but something that I was thinking about while you were speaking is, you said you didn't get into television until later on, and like the comedy style, that's when that developed. So, I'm curious to know, like, uh being a funny guy, was that like something that stuck with you early on in your life? Like growing up, did everybody know you as the funny guy, or like the class clown, or what was that experience like?
So I I was a loner
Mhm.
slash slacker.
Okay.
Um, I knew everybody though, and everybody knew me. I would like to say that, growing up, I'm not growing up, but in high school, and people knew me.
Mhm.
People knew of me, and we had a small school, so it's like almost everybody knew everybody. But me, I mostly knew everybody. Um, so no, I was like, but I was to myself. I was like a loner. I was still trying to find me, and I didn't do that until I got to college. Growing up in my home household, I was always the guy playing tricks on somebody, practical jokes or some pranks. That was me.
So when you started creating content, like, or when you say you was creating content before it was known as content, what was that experience like in terms of like what it consisted of?
Oh, me conducting interviews, me
Okay.
doing documentaries, me putting on events, me I want to say me having fun with Photoshop, doing the Photoshop stuff like in the early days. Um, Me creating like fake music videos. That was the content right there. I would just go. We would have what was it? It was 8 floors. Yeah, no, 8 or 9 floors in the men's dormitory. So I would like go to different floors and just turn on my camera and just flick it up. Excuse me, not flick it up. Turn on my camera and record it up. And
Mhm.
then I was on campus, on college campus. I was known as a photographer because I took pictures of everybody. So that's how I got popular.
Right.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming that you developed your graphic design skills around the same time.
No, that came so I developed my graphic designing skills, I want to say after college, after I
Okay.
graduated. So about a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started creating artwork
Oh, okay.
because my, rec, I didn't really like his artwork. I
Mm-hmm.
really feel like, it didn't represent him. That's why I didn't like it because I felt like it didn't really represent him.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I said, if I say that I don't like it, then I should do better. So that's when I started creating artwork for him, and then I started creating artwork for great artist, Creative Gold from out from Brownsville, and
Shout out
then
to
I started,
Creative Gold.
yeah, then I started creating artwork for what's that rapper's name? Dave East. And then I started doing artwork for like the game and his artists. So it was pretty interesting and pretty weird. And then I got into logos and flyers and et cetera, et cetera.
What's that experience like working with artists in terms of graphic design? Because I have experienced myself working with artists, and I know that like it wasn't. I didn't like it. Like I didn't like I loved graphic design until I was like, let me apply this to music, and then I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna put that.
Working with just working with artists, period.
Yeah.
You
Talk
have
about.
some artists. I learned early that
Mhm.
you you either accept the bullshit or you be better.
Right.
You leave the bullshit alone. A lot of artists, I won't tarnish their name, but a lot of artists have like their ego, and I'm not talking with graphic designing. I'm talking with like events, especially like
Mhm.
when I would host events back in the day. Like some artist ego is so weird, you would
Yeah.
say, hey, what's up to somebody, and then like, their crew would just like like not assault you, but like move you out the way and shit. Like,
Yeah.
working with artists on the content, it's just, they're late, they don't feel like doing it anymore. Yeah, it's a lot, but it when you do find that artist, or yeah, when you do find that artist that is actually good to you,
Mhm.
definitely treat them kind. Definitely treat them kind and definitely let them know, like, hey, thank you for being kind, because a lot of people really aren't kind in the media, the music industry, or in media industry, period.
All right, so getting back to this to the darkness tip, right?
Hmm.
Um being known as a comedian or a comedy writer, how do you integrate sort of darker elements into the comedy that you choose to write?
So my comedy is mainly wacky.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like wacky comedy. My comedy is you. Have you ever seen the movie Airplane?
Airplane, I don't think I have.
So it's a 19, I want to say, I forget what year it was, but I believe it's 1980. But Airplane would best describe, some of my comedic writing. That TV slash all that era,
Mm-hmm.
that's my comedy as well when I'm doing
Okay.
different skits. So that's, that I wouldn't say that would define my comedy.
So like SNL, how do you feel about like that? It sort of in that vein. D- um, I guess what was the question I was gonna? I was like, I felt like I was going somewhere, but then I was like, wait,
It's
no,
okay. It's
this.
okay.
But yeah. So you more so skits. Um, so how do you feel about SNL
Um,
actually, without
that's
jeopardizing any type of future?
Oh, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Either they accept me or they won't.
Right.
SNL has a lot of it's a big hit or miss.
Right.
Um, that's it. Growing up, you've seen Mad TV before, correct?
Yes.
So it was like Mad TV was for the black people, and
Mm-hmm.
SNL was for the white people.
Yeah.
And though I want to say SNL has gotten probably like 5-10% better catering to their black audience.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like a hit or miss. Like it's a difference between Black people comedy and white people comedy. Like it's a huge it's vastly different. Like huge. It's like it's a big gap.
So let me.
And
Oh, go
you said
ahead.
what?
No, I was just gonna ask you. So, do you think that a series like In Living Color could exist again today?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, I have a like in my pitch book, I do
Mhm.
have a pitch for in a living in living color
Mhm.
thing where I want to like gather all my funny friends together and we can do something like that. I don't I definitely don't see a problem for it to come back. Now it has to get like some funding behind it.
Right.
That would be amazing. But other than that, that's that.
Hmm. So would you say that your style of writing and your style of comedy is exclusive for film and television, or do you think that like you could shift it to maybe like collaborate with a comedian and do like a tour or a stand-up special or something like that?
Yeah, I don't do stand up.
Okay.
I don't do stand up. I believe stand up is like comedy is the to me personally, I want to say comedy is one of the hardest things to do
I
because you
agree.
have to make people laugh. And you don't
Mhm.
know, like especially these days, you don't know what's sensitive to a person. You don't know what's rude to a person. You don't know if what's like just boring to a person. So if you can like you're in, when you're doing stand up, you're literally performing in front of strangers and you don't know what they're going to laugh at, but you just have to run with your material.
Mhm.
That I think comedy is extremely hard. Like comedy is much more harder than drama. Comedy is much more harder than action. Like though you can get hurt when you're
Mhm.
doing those stunts, but you can keep doing it over and over again. With comedy, with stand up, it's like you really got one time
Yeah.
and that's it. Like you really have one impression, and that's it.
Yeah, you tell somebody you can make them laugh and they don't. They're not looking for you to try to make them
Exactly. And then
laugh again.
the people are gonna be like, oh no, he's not funny. Like,
Right, right.
like
Which is crazy,
the
but
rap.
it's how we live.
It is. It is.
Um, okay, so I want to get into Hello White People because that was a very dope series.
Thank you.
And I know that you collaborated with Snapchat on that, right?
Yes. Shout out to my brother, my best friend, I love this man, Orlando.
Hmm.
Well, Orlando Roy. He took Hello White People to another level. He's like, yeah, we collaborate on a Snapchat for more funding and for a more push and broader audience, a bigger audience, and it's amazing.
Well, speak about the inception of it also.
So we did, at first it was like a YouTube series, and then
Hmm.
it became a podcast, and then it became like a live show, and
Okay.
then excuse me, not a podcast, an audio project, and then it
Hmm.
became like a game show on Clubhouse, so and then Snapchat.
Hmm.
So and then the brand because we had sold T-shirts. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Very dope, very dope.
Thank
And
you.
how would you describe your experience just filming in general?
So some white people are bold. That is something I can say. So some white people are bold,
Hmm.
some white people are reserved, and some white people, well, a few white people will tell the truth.
Right. um let's get into your peers, right? Because peers are always important to have, especially in like show business and stuff like that. And I just want to know, how do peers influence your work, or how do they help in your journey to success rather?
I owe all my credit to all my peers. So without them supporting me, nobody will support me. Um, it's not a. I'm not saying I'm thankful for their cosign.
Hmm.
I am, but it's like without uh, it's like if you walk into a restaurant and you try the soup and you say, wow, this soup is amazing, I need to tell people about this, and you
Yeah.
bring one person to try the soup and that person says, yeah, people need to see this, and then two becomes four becomes eight, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how it was with me and my peers. My peers put me on to their peers, and their peers put me on to theirs, and they were et cetera, et cetera. So, I definitely, when it comes to, people supporting me, my peers supporting me, I definitely owe it to the people that I met when I first came back to New York City.
Mm-hmm. And what year was that, by the way?
I graduated 2013 May 15th, 13th. So I came home. I want to say May, June. I came home back in June.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just I'm curious to know your experience so far as a writer. You have a lot of production credits in terms of producing graphics, producing content, but writing is something that like you can either do by yourself, like you can sit in a room by yourself and write all day, or you can collaborate with different people. And the process is also is often extenuating. So I want to speak about your journey as a writer and like how you've developed your writing style over the years.
So I owe it all. At first I was just writing. At first I wasn't even writing.
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just an on camera or thing. I was just thinking of an idea, think of an idea, and then I would just do it.
Right.
I credit all my writing to Latasha Mercer. Latasha Mercer is one of the greatest writers of this decade. She literally gave me everything that I know. She taught me everything that I know. Like I literally every single thing
Mm-hmm.
from I want to say how to just start with an idea, how to do an outline. Definitely credit. I want to say 100% of my the ability to write to Latasha Mercer. And then came Moon Ferguson, and then came Shania Banton. In I know I'm missing somebody. Oh Lord, she's gonna kill me. Shayla. I forgot last name, but definitely Shayla. Those women, uh, they definitely taught me how to write. They told me my writing was shit without them even looking at it. So I definitely credit them. And I've been crediting, women, I, women for all my success.
Right. And just to stay on that for a little bit, since you've credited so many women to your success, I just want you to touch on like making women laugh, especially in comedy, and like the talent that goes into that, because everybody thinks it's so easy to just make people laugh, but like
Yeah, you're right about that.
even making women laugh can like that's a whole talent in itself. And I want to just when you're bouncing ideas off of people, would you rather go to a guy or a woman?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I just would rather yeah, it doesn't matter of the gender. I'd rather just go to someone that is would understand the joke,
Right.
because I can't tell a video game joke to someone that just focuses on air. So I would
Right.
go to somebody that plays video games.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't with me with when I'm testing my content and testing my projects out, I'm genderless. I'm very, very genderless.
Okay. But you might still get different types of responses from the same piece of content from both genders, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I want to say women definitely give me better tips.
Okay. That's dope. That's dope. And yeah, I think that we can fast forward up to now and talk about like what you're working on and what's how did the pandemic treat you first and foremost?
The pandemic did a number on me, man. I couldn't go out, couldn't create. I didn't know who had what.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible. It was terrible. I really missed going outside and just doing
Mm-hmm.
what I had to do. I was on a run.
Mhm.
I was working at Fuse and I was planning on moving to California.
Oh wow.
So, that fell through.
I got
And
no. Yeah.
so, yeah, so, a pandemic treated me horrible.
Mhm. How did it change your process as a creative, if it did, if it did?
Yeah, so right now I'm going through what they call I forgot. It's like when it's like a burnout. Right
Mhm.
now I'm going through a burnout because I did so much and then I had stopped and I didn't know what to do. So like now I'm trying to pick things back up. Right now, currently I am working with a model named well, excuse me. Yeah, she's a model, but a model producer named Brittany. We're working on a nice short, a horror short right now. I'm writing it
Dope.
as the days go by, and I'm looking for a producer for my own personal project right now. That's another short film that I plan to take to the Oscars
Oh,
and
dope.
different festivals. Yeah.
Very dope.
Thank you.
So you're working on this short, and now that we're sort of transitioning out of this lull period, uh, how do you see, your how do you see yourself moving forward, like out of the pandemic? Because I feel like everybody has big plans, and
I don't know about this, man. I don't know, man. It's
it's
I feel
okay to
like the
not. It's okay to
pandemic.
not know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like the pandemic is going to be here to stay.
Okay.
I think we got another, what, 2022.
Hmm.
The way things are going right now, I think 2024, 2025 is going to be promising for a lot of us.
Very dope. That's good to hear.
Hmm.
And I think that's pretty much it. I think I got everything.
That
This has
sounds
been
good.
this has been dope. And I look forward to seeing a lot more of your work. I really appreciate the effort that you put into your craft, because it's not a small feat to be in comedy. It's not a small feat to be a writer in show business and produce your own content and things like that. That's what kind of attracted me to you in the first place.
Thank you.
And I just wish the best for your career moving forward. And I'll be continuing to look at you do very dope things.
Thank you, man. I really, really appreciate you. And thank you for just giving me the time. I did not expect this at all. I appreciate you for real, for real.
No, no doubt, no doubt, man. I just, like, my goal with this platform is to connect with as many people as possible and just give them the opportunity to speak about, their experience with their work. Because a lot of people spend so much time working and they don't get to talk about the process of working.
You damn right about that. You are 100% correct about that, mi amigo.
And me personally, like, I find myself like going to my friends to talk about certain things, and they don't
Okay.
care. So it's like, why don't I give somebody the opportunity to come vent to me on my shit? Like,
Man, I appreciate you for real, man. I really do appreciate you.
of course, of course. So how about we let the people know where they can find you on the internet?
Everywhere is Funny Julius. Everything Funny Julius. You can catch me on TikTok at Funny Julius too, because some idiot put Funny Julius. So Funny Julius too on TikTok, but Funny Julius everywhere.
Awesome, awesome.
Hmm.
And as always, guys, you can find everything Versus Mike History related at versusmikehistory.com. Subscribe to the members only tier to get my archive of interviews. Follow Versus Mike History on Twitter at VS Mike History, and on Instagram and the Fanbase app at Versus Mike History. And I will catch you beautiful Black people at the next episode.